we started in 67, and it was a few missionaries, and they started with Dr. John and Emily Bayless, which he was a pastor at the United Methodist. And our building here was an old Fort Chaffee church building, and that was brought over here on the corner of L and Fifth. And they started it out as a Mother's Day out, actually, for the kids on this side of town that didn't have anything to do in the summer, and parents needed, 2 or 3 days a week to maybe get able and get out. But then after that, they seen the need for a preschool. So they started a preschool here, and it started in 67, and it started out with half-a-day programs. So they had 90 children when they started. They had like 45 in the morning, 45 in the afternoon. That way they were able to have more children during the day, and the children were able to get out, and come to school for 2 or 3 hours a day. And I've been here for 36 years. So it started in 67, and I came in 87. And we still had the 90 children. Well, when the tornado hit in 96, it really damaged our building, and we rebuilt back. So the old church building we tore down, and we rebuilt this new building back. And that was we moved into the building in, I think it was 98, maybe 2 years after the tornado hit. And we stayed with 90 children for about 10 years, and then we seen the need to have all day. Parents were, needing all day because, when it first started, there was usually just only one parent working. But over the years, after 20 or 30 years, it became to where both parents started working. So we had to do all day. So that cut our 90 children into around 40 to 45 children is what we have now. And it's just not a preschool kindergarten. We have a clothes closet for anybody who comes in and needs clothes. We even have a food bank to where we offer food if somebody comes in off the street and is hungry. And we've had people come in and ask for food, bread, peanut butter and stuff. So really, it's just, we serve probably the community down here on the north side of town. So it's a mission for not just preschool, but for the community. And we have been supported by the community. And I want to thank all of our donors and everybody who's helped us here, because our doors would have been open because we had no government funding. The only government funding that I can say that we truly had was the food program, and they paid for our food. But it was just local donations, churches, corporations, and we're governed by a board, and we had board committees on that board that did sponsorship, that went out and solicited sponsorship to keep our doors open. And that went on for 56 years with no government or United Way funding. But we have so many success stories. I could sit here and tell you that I have kids that come in often that went here 25 years ago. And they want to come back and see if their teacher is still here and see their playground. And a lot of those kids are successful. We've had lawyers, we have police officers, we have nurses. I had a parent come back in a couple of weeks ago, and he had twins that come here 20 years ago. And parents are always bringing us stuff back, thanking us for helping them 25 years ago. So he was telling me that one of the kids that came here is an engineer, and the other one, which was his sister, and they were twins, she is a scientist at Baylor University in the research department. And now we've had kids, like we've had them to go into the NBA, NFL, they played college ball. And I'm not saying by any means that we're responsible for their success, but we are responsible for laying that foundation for that success, because those parents come in all the time, and those kids, when they're in town, for instance, just let me say Jalen Williams, who's the one with, I think he's OKC Thunders. He come back in the summer just to see us before he left. So we had some of his brothers and cousins, and we've had, you know, children who come in and bring us a picture of their uncle or somebody like that with a signature from them playing in the NFL, that they came here so many years ago.
So when is the last day, and how emotional is that going to be?
It's a bittersweet day. Our last day is going to be May the 17th. That's graduation day. And this coming Sunday, which is the 7th, we're having a farewell event for anybody who's ever had anything and everything to do with Interfaith, that wants to drop in and out and see us one more time before we close. And that's a lot of students, I'm sure, will be able to come by. So that's going to be our closing days. We'll have the big event Sunday from 2 to 4. Then we'll have our graduation the 17th, and it'll be hard, but you know, everything has its season. And we were here when we needed to be here, when there were no resources, when there were very few preschools. But now, when you look around, there's a lot of preschools and more resources. There's the ABC program in public school, and there's just a lot more resources now for these children than when we started. But we were so blessed to be here for them because we knew they needed us.
Can you imagine what the town would be like if Interfaith hadn't been there all these years?
I don't know that there would be as much success with the area children, and a lot of these children are community helpers, like firefighters, policemen, and nurses, and you know, it's just, I can't even imagine if we hadn't been here to help these parents, you know, 30, 40 years ago, because, you know, we had volunteers that would carpool these children in here in their own vehicles when we first started in the 60s and 70s. And so it was probably the 80s that we ever got a van and would go transporting these kids, because we had volunteers that would in their own vehicles. Mm-hmm. And you can't do that now, but 40 years ago you could. You know, it's just a lot different now. But we have been blessed to be able to be here and keep our doors open all these years.
I appreciate your time. Thank you so much for all you have done over the years. And it'll be sad to see you all go.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.